Please welcome up our next speaker, contestant S5104. Contestant S5104 will be speaking over the quotation, "We must reinforce argument with results." It's by Booker T. Washington. Again, that's "We must reinforce argument with results," Booker T. Washington.
Most people imagine hell as this fiery place where the souls of the damned go. But for me, hell is Manchester High School on Wednesday morning with all the sup kids. I mean, come on! But a lot of people realize that the world today can kind of suck. In fact, right now, we have the most wars going on since World War I. But today, on Juneteenth, we're addressing a quote by civil rights icon Booker T. Washington. The quote is, "We must reinforce argument with results." And we'll analyze this quote through three examples. First, the example of Nelson Mandela. Second, the example of the United Nations. And third, the example of the greatest politician alive, myself. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. Why? Because he was protesting against the apartheid system in South Africa. In South Africa, the white Afrikaner minority completely took away the rights of the black majority. Nelson Mandela didn't just sit along and go with this. He protested, never using violence. And for that, the government put him in prison for 27 years. However, the story of Nelson Mandela didn't end with that. Nelson Mandela got out of prison, became the president of South Africa, and ended the apartheid system over there. And returning back to the quote by Booker T. Washington, "We must reinforce argument with results," Nelson Mandela reinforced his argument with results through success politically and for advocating for equality. So overall, when you're judging the legacy of a historical figure like Nelson Mandela or anyone else, don't talk about all the rhetoric. Talk about what they actually accomplished. But speaking of failing, I didn't even octo in international extemp. Let's just say my ego got shattered. But another failure in our world today is the United Nations. Yes, really controversial. But think about it. Just a few years ago, the United Nations made Iran, a country which oppresses its citizens every day, as the chair of a human rights committee. I mean, come on! What were you thinking? But beyond that, we put all our stock into multilateral organizations like the UN. Like they're gonna preserve human rights. But these organizations are all talk, no action. They give us yapathons without results. And when we return back to the quote by Booker T. Washington, that we must reinforce argument with results, we can clearly see that the United Nations is not doing that. So, when you go to cast your ballot in the 2026 midterms, or wherever you are from, no matter the state or country, vote on the politician who will actually achieve something instead of just giving yapathon speeches. But back to the greatest politician alive, myself, I like to say that I'm a pretty successful person until I didn't break in international extemp. I spent an entire year practicing speeches, doing draws, 30-minute prep periods, only to not octo when the moment needed me to octo. So, did I give up? No. I entered into Impromptu, and as you know, I'm talking to you right now. But this is exactly how this example connects back to the quote by Booker T. Washington. Once again, the quote is, "We must reinforce argument with results." And I did tell my team before nationals that I was gonna final. Apparently I didn't lie, and this just proves my argument. When I set my mind to do something, I achieved it. If I just talked and didn't final, well, not only would I be a liar, but I would also be disappointing the great civil rights leader, Booker T. Washington. So if you fail, don't break an extemp or any other category, go into supplementals, and just remember, there will be other tournaments where you can final or maybe win. And don't give up. We are all successful leaders in this room, and we can all achieve our dreams. Overall, these nationals were kind of a fever dream, especially Manchester High School on Wednesday morning. Maybe Dante should have wrote about it. However, today we analyzed a quote by civil rights leader Booker T. Washington. We must reinforce argument with results. And we looked at this quote in 3 separate ways. Firstly, a successful politician who did reinforce his argument with results. Secondly, a non-successful organization which yaps about human rights but puts Iran in charge of protecting them. And thirdly, for myself. So overall, when you're assessing an argument or something that someone's saying, assess it by its merits, not by the way it sounds. And remember, assess me both by my merits and how good I sound. Thank you.
At this time, please welcome the finalists in Impromptu to the stage for introduction. Speaking first, S5078 is Sienna Stouts from Wrightston High School, coached by David Winkler. Speaking second, S5676 is Simon Forbes from Orono High School, coached by Sasha Rath and Nicole Berg. Speaking third, S5104 is Jacob Dubrovsky from Catholic Memorial High School, coached by Ryan Julian, brother Anthony Cavett, Antoine Candeloft, and Mariana Dubrovsky.
All right, please welcome to the stage the 6 finalists and their coaches in Impromptu.
your winners in Impromptu, presented by Bob and Sally Stockton are: in 6th place, Sienna Stouts from Wrightstown High School in Wisconsin, coached by David Winkler. In 5th place, Ash Klon from Mounds Park Academy in Minnesota, coached by Tanner Sunderman. In 4th place, Jacob Dubrovsky from Catholic Memorial School in Massachusetts, coached by Ryan Julian and brother Anthony K. Cavett.